It's currently 10:20 p.m. I'm currently drawing a red buffalo outline. Then I'm going to fill it in. Initially, I wasn't going to put that on there on the back. Initially, I was just going to do the NFL shield, since that's how the hat is. The NFL shield is actually in the middle of this. But then I accidentally completed the line using this Sharpie marker before I did that NFL shield. At times I contemplated using my nails to rip or flake off bits of the styrofoam in order to get rid of the dark blue, midnight blue / purple coloring, in order to be able to successfully keep the white trim around the shield complete. But then I decided to do this instead, since in other pictures I found of that kind of hat, not the exact same, but it had similar appearances from the initial images I used that I based off of in order to draw Josh Allen's face. Only it has on the front for the Getty images image, it has the actual Buffalo Bills logo on the front. Hence why I did this. I completed the jersey, to be exact, the part of the jersey where I drew in all the little air holes to make the jersey more aerodynamic. Hence why it's a part of the jersey. I first used an ultrafine Sharpie marker to essentially draw a whole bunch of hollow circles to make this pattern, and then I filled them in using this Sharpie marker, since that's kind of my way to ensure that the air holes are all the right size. And before all of that, in the morning hours, I completed the jersey. This part specifically, the air holes pattern, on the morning hours. The first thing I did was straighten, to the best of my ability, the line that divides the non-air hole part of the jersey from the air hole part of the jersey. Then I drew in the air holes, then I filled in the space between the air holes. And then I did some of the hat, and then I drew in these on the top of the hat, which are meant to represent these. And though now that I think about it, maybe for at least the outer circles, I should have used this one. I did that during the hours immediately following Dan and I getting back from our local Brine Dairy convenience store. Because Dad has coupons for that convenience store that he got for the mail. A medium cheese pizza for $5. He had to pay extra for the pepperoni and bacon toppings. The crust is pretty good. Nice and crunchy, although it's been a while since I last had Mark's Pizzeria, but if my memory serves me well, although this pizza here is pretty good, it's not as good as Mark's Pizzeria. When it comes to doing faces, I always have the most difficulty with the ears. Because it's got all of those inner folds, I'm thinking. I haven't gotten them down pat just yet. Same for the general shape of the ears. Although how the inner folds of the ear are shaped that appear just on the outside can vary by quite a bit, i.e. the inner folds of an ear on the left side of the head can be different from that of an image of an ear on the right side of the head. Of which I need both in order to be able to have the best chance of drawing the ear properly for both sides of the head. Because if I try to extrapolate an ear on the right side from an image of an ear on the left side, by trying to draw the exact interfolds backwards, I'm less likely to succeed. First time I drew this symbol, I thought it was some kind of symbol for the state of New York, but according to Dad, when he saw it, he said that symbol was actually that of a hat maker. I believe he said New Balance. Something along those lines. Either way, done that symbol many times in the past. And I tried my best with this NFL shield, though I had to make it pretty small, so small that for the actual details of the shield, even with ultrafine Sharpie markers, I think it could just barely do the job. And I had to leave out some of the nuances of the design. We first went into that Brian Dairy convenience store at around 6:15 p.m. where I redeemed the coupon Dad gave me of a free slice of cheese pizza with no purchase required. And this was following a brief stay at our local Salvatore's. That lasted roughly from 4:45 p.m. to about 6 p.m. That we made because today was their sub special day. They have a sub special on Thursdays. I got an Italian assorted sub with capicola, tomato, lettuce, and mayo. While Dad got a cheesesteak sub. Dad got a couple pints of beer. I had water both before and after getting the cocktail of the month called Vampire Blood. And the bartender threw in some red cocktail salt, which tasted both like salt and sugar. though I didn't end up eating much of it. Because I have a habit of taking pictures of the cocktails. And drinks that I get for each visit to Salvatore's. Although the bread for my sub ended up being much thicker than that of Dad's sub, and since I got a cold sub, while Dad got a hot sub, I got a dill pickle slice, while Dad didn't. I'm okay eating a dill pickle slice, but Dad seems to really like the dill pickle slices, so I tend to give the dill pickle slices more often than not to Dad. Hey, we got back roughly at 7:15 p.m. In order to pass the time, it was a 45-minute wait, roughly speaking, from 6:15 p.m. to about 7 p.m., though Dad was able to get the pizza at 6:50 p.m. But in between that, he mostly made a visit to our local Wegmans and kind of window shopped in order to pass the time while waiting for this pizza to be ready. At various points in the evening, I played Bloons Tower Defense 6 in order to pass the time, specifically playing around with the new stuff they introduced. In the latest major update, I think I fell asleep for roughly half an hour at around 9:30 p.m., waking up around 10. I think sometime in the afternoon, Dad gave me this grape-flavored Powerade, which I felt was healthy, and it is relatively healthy. Compared to soda, but it's got the artificial sweetener sucralose in it, which I've heard it's not a good idea to have artificial sweeteners because then you kind of trick your body into thinking it's going to get a whole bunch of sugar. When in reality you won't. I've heard it's not a good idea to do that sort of thing. The Powerade Zero Sugars taste good. But I think moving forward, I'm going to want to stick to maybe something else. Try to find something else that's both zero sugar and 0 calorie, while also being zero artificial sweetener. Or I may want to lean more on milk. Dad heated the pizza. He reheated the pizza in the oven and reheated the leftover pasta from the other day in the microwave. The new microwave that he bought in the afternoon, along with the shovel. I haven't actually used that new microwave yet that he put in the kitchen area, but based off how the leftover pasta is, it seems to have worked pretty well. He also bought a new shower curtain for the ground floor bathroom. The other one's in the basement. Though I didn't notice it until he pointed it out, that he had gotten a new curtain, and I initially thought it was for the window in the ground floor bathroom. During the car ride to Salvatore's, and I didn't notice it was actually a new shower curtain until around 7:15 p.m. when we got back from Brine Dairy. And I started work on finishing up the baseball cap. In the late evening / early night hours. And at one point I went into the ground floor bathroom. Which is the bathroom I'll go in every time if I can. Since for the ground floor bathroom, I only have to go down one flight of stairs rather than two for the one in the basement. And when it comes to working on these polystyrene drawings, it's something I enjoy doing. Though at times, especially near the beginning of such a project, I get feelings that I'm not doing the best that I can do on the project, even though I do sincerely try to do my best on them. What gets me is that there are always these little air holes on the surface of these pieces of polystyrene. It's an inherent part of the material. And you know, I know it's all a part of the process of drawing on polystyrene, it can still be a bit frustrating at times to deal with, but it's worth it to do so. I typically do that using ultrafine Sharpie markers, but some of these air holes can be so deep that an ultrafine Sharpie marker can't really reach them. But historically, others always tell me that I'm doing a good job on these polystyrene drawings. It's all in the joy of creating something from nothing in a sort of sense. After waking up and falling asleep a couple of times, I recall waking up and getting up sometime in the late morning hours. Most likely around 11:30 in the morning, and I had a few cups of coffee, or a couple, if I recall correctly. I recall there being a time in which I was up around 7 in the morning or so. But the coffee I had today lasted until about maybe 3:30 in the afternoon, generally speaking, by which point I had finished. The cold brew from the other day that was left in the red Polish American Club cup. Dad said that the flavor of coffee used for today, or the first 2 cups, the flavor was called Jamaican Me Crazy. Which I've had before, but by that point, not for a while, so it tasted different to me plain. During the morning hours, within the first hours of today, I watched / listened to all 8 episodes of SpongeQuan on YouTube. There were no points in which I laughed, but I found it pretty interesting to find something so bold on YouTube. I had heard of it before, seen part of the first episode in the past, but it wasn't until today that I bothered to listen to the entire series, pretty much, what's currently available, which I did partially while working on the 3rd Josh Allen drawing.